Today we are not talking about starting up. We are talking about the hard truth of scaling up. If you are an engineer or a founder, the rules of the game just changed. Last time we spoke with Arpan, we covered the how of building Commudle. Since then, they have scaled to over 260k developers, and GenAI has completely flipped the script on how we write code. Arpan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Kuldeep, and always more than a pleasure to have this discussion with you. And I guess this also gives us chance to meet outside of community events and engagements. Really grateful that you have invited me again.
Sure. So before we start our conversation, what is one technical bet which you made a year ago that you would like to take back today?
One technical bet that
Yes.
my features will take X number of days to complete. I would say I would want to roll back the X number of days.
Mhm.
And basically exploring new tech is a lot more faster because I was earlier going on and reading through multiple links, which was fun in itself.
Mhm.
Today I am reading summaries and then asking whether this source is correct or not. So the journey has changed from reading through different links and triangulating. Someone else does the triangulation for me,
Mhm.
and but I am that someone else. I'm asking them whether their source is legitimate or not. From where are they quoting this or sourcing this? That someone is obviously the GPTs and the LLMs. So yeah.
No, and that has really changed it, at least in this year. Even this year is a quarter old, but still lots and lots of change has come. But tell me one special thing, because we talked last time about the Ruby,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
you have been a vocal defender of Ruby for speed.
mhm.
And you already scaled Commudle for closer to 300k users and now working on integrating more AI. Are you hitting any performance ceiling, or is your boring tech actually worked and it is still a secret weapon where everyone else is wasting time on the AI hype stack, but this is the stack which is actually scaling well so far?
Okay, so um, I won't say that there is a secret sauce or if I am hitting any performance ceiling with anything.
Mm-hmm.
We are still 300k users. From the product perspective, it's a gold mine, being in
Mm-hmm.
the DevRel space and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it, I guess some of the bigger social media companies or even cab service companies would have
Mm-hmm.
more than this of a DAU, daily active user base, right? So that is one case. But let me take you back to a certain situation when we were hiring in my last company for Ruby on Rails engineers.
Mm-hmm.
We thought might be really tough. Pata nahi milenge ki nahi milenge, whether we will find them or not. And we
Mm-hmm.
were surprised to get people who applied and we were interviewing them to
Mm-hmm.
know such companies that were around us, really large scale startups with Series B funding, Series C funding, or maybe acquired that
Mm-hmm.
were on Ruby on Rails. So,
Okay.
but my personal journey, it started from Django. When I
Mm-hmm.
first got to build on Ruby on Rails, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it, right?
Okay.
Switching between frameworks. And then there was this thing called Rails Magic, which still is there. You write a command, it scaffolds the whole, you can say, CRUD operations for a particular database model,
Mm-hmm.
as in create, read, update, destroy functions and URLs. It's like, why? And then Rails is a highly opinionated framework wherein there is only one way of writing the correct things.
Mm-hmm.
In Django, I could create my own folder structures the way I wanted to, and there was a lot more flexibility. So I was not really liking Rails, but it was probably 10 days or something for me to pick it up. And then I was like, I'm not going back or changing, right? Because the speed of development goes up so fast,
Mm-hmm.
you can just stop thinking about where to place which piece of code because there is only one way of writing code. Plus, Ruby and Python are very close as languages to English. The
Yeah.
difference being Python has that indentation thing which you have to follow. Ruby, you don't even have to follow that. Another difference, yes, Python is closer to the system, so it's faster, has a lot more machine learning libraries and everything. You can always write a wrapper in Ruby and call the Python functions. Obviously, it does hamper the speed, but I think computational power, horizontal scaling, up till a huge threshold, you can stop thinking about it. Right? With 300K users, you can stop thinking about it. This is not the problem that you need to solve right now. Ruby can handle it. I'm not yet facing any sort of performance thresholds or bottlenecks with the language at all. And yes, what it does add all the time is the speed of development, which was already fast. And with AI, it now you can say doubles or quadruples because of the way the framework and the language is structured. Otherwise, I think I'm still enjoying it. I am still not yet bored around it. The Ruby community is getting more and more active every day again. So there was a period wherein the community was probably less active, but Rails Foundation is back up. New gems, new libraries, new wrappers around things. There is Ruby LLM. There is a different set of gems or libraries which I am using every day. So yes, I think Ruby on Rails is a superpower that we have, and right now that superpower is on the backend side of things. Front end we use Angular, and we are thoroughly enjoying it.
No, you are absolutely correct. And one more thing, which is of course the trend, right? And being a CTO and founder, I don't know whether it does terrify you or whether it does excite you, because nowadays with the help of the GenAI assistant, even a junior dev or like just one who is starting the career, he can like do the prompt and get the full features in a minutes, which
Mhm.
you might have earlier take maybe like
Mhm.
2 weeks or 3 weeks or even a month to develop.
Yeah. So okay, running a company, I would look at it from two different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
One is as an output or positive side for the company. I
Mm-hmm.
am able to build, ship, experiment, succeed or fail faster,
Mm-hmm.
and then reiterate, fix things for the user. From the dev side of things, it is more enjoyable in terms of features being built faster. You don't have to write redundant things again and again. For example, we do on the backend code, front end code, both is we all have our own agent.md files.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone keeps on using those for their own commits, as in the features or the code that they write.
Mm-hmm.
And then the agents make certain mistakes repeatedly. So end of the week or 15 days, we update those files with the mistakes that AI repeated.
Mm-hmm.
That commit goes to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole team gets that update of the mistakes that were happening by the agent on one system. That happens. Now coming to your specific question of um, maybe 15 days of work in 15 minutes or 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There are some, you can say, quirks to it or some nitty gritties to it,
Mm-hmm.
which is even that agent or AI needs to be made to understand the system
Mm-hmm.
in the way the code is structured.
Agree.
And still, you cannot just leave it in terms of when it has written the code that, okay, let's push it to production. There
Mm-hmm.
would be certain edge cases, certain use cases that it would not be able to judge or predict or
Mm-hmm.
understand based on certain bad or good coding practices that you would have been following.
Mm-hmm.
Right. For example, we will be naming variables, let us say with a particular prefix, and
Mm-hmm.
then certain versions that can be taught. But then earlier we were using a coding practice with certain system design principle.
Mm-hmm.
And as the system is evolved, in the newer code, we are following another principle.
Mm-hmm.
Which one will AI follow? Right? By understanding your code. That is the question.
Mm-hmm.
So as a starting developer, it's fun to see I wrote one line of English and it created an application and it's working fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then the moment real users start hitting it, and that is where you have the real, you can say, performance testing, whether it scales up, whether it works or not. And I'm not saying that it cannot be solved again with AI. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that you have to use it as a very intelligent assistant, but
Mm-hmm.
you are the smart one, they are the intelligent one. So that needs to be the combination. It's more like, are you hearing me or are you listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
So AI will hear you out, create those things, and then you are the one that is going to do the interaction
Mm-hmm.
and look at the code and tell it what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And probably to add one very small example, I have been building certain pages related to features,
Mm-hmm.
sort of taking away the load from my tech team, and also train or write proper MD files to
Mm-hmm.
create public pages, static pages for the
Mm-hmm.
website for showcasing features better. I give it certain design guidelines. I tell it that use Tailwind
Mm-hmm.
and some sample component. There are two mistakes that it kept on repeating.
Okay.
Using colors from Tailwind, which we had not defined in our color palette.
Mm-hmm.
So it was non-existent in our code base, but on Tailwind it was present.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Second was it was constantly writing maybe 700 lines worth of CSS or SCSS files, which could have been done in less than maybe 150 lines
Mm-hmm.
by using reusable classes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So simple fixes to the prompt, we were able to bring it down. And my developer, she is very particular about the CSS part.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the left, right, and center that this CSS file needs to be fixed. When the first time I submitted that PR, which was written by AI. Second, yes, I could not find anything that needed to be fixed. Right,
Mm-hmm.
and that those are two very off extreme cases. But yes, I would say it would be closer to the way we want to write it.
Mm-hmm. And based on this experience, right? Do you think we are going to have more
Mhm,
and more technical debt by letting the AI write code that
mhm,
human don't fully understand? Because, for example, in your case, it was the
mhm.
expert and she was knowing. But just assume if she would not have been there, any other person by just looking at the code, and even the code reviewer also says yes, it is a good code.
Okay, so another example. I don't know. I'm built up of examples. So
Mm-hmm.
just sharing. I was working on the revamp of this feature called ad campaigns
Mm-hmm.
that we have on Commudle.
Commodal,
Anyone
yeah.
can come and run campaigns and showcase what they want to in terms of maybe events, hackathons, any campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
So I earlier it was more on the lines of that you upload a picture and it gets displayed everywhere wherever slots are defined. Now
Mm-hmm.
the ad will be working similar to Google ads, Reddit ads, Facebook ads that it will follow. So things I did.
Mm-hmm.
One was I brainstormed a lot and then asked GPT to collect all the things that I had agreed to from our previous chat,
Uh-huh.
and then lay down what should I go ahead in terms of defining the features and the code,
Mm-hmm.
the way I should be doing it in my code base. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the thought process. But if I take a slight detour from it in terms of
Mm-hmm.
technical debt, um, one of the things that it constantly did for a problem that it was stuck at was, okay, this is the perfect way, this will work. This is my final answer, this will work. This is the best way. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the final answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And none of those solutions were working. This was for optimizing a table which had more than 10 million records. And initially, for optimizing the indexes or the indices in it, it was constantly stuck on certain thing and repeatedly giving me three solutions in a loop. Then I went to another GPT. I was like, all these solutions are not working. It was also again in the loop. Then I moved to another one, and this was Claude. And I re-explained the problem, told these use cases. It came up with two or three more solutions.
Mm-hmm.
None of those were working because there were certain edge cases in the real live code that was running that I could access through the logs. That this is what Postgres is doing, my database,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what is working in terms of, so Postgres has a planner which decides which index to use, which not to use, what
Yeah.
it is using, what is not using. And then I provided that information
Mm-hmm.
to GPT and then figured out what is the solution. So you understand that tech debt is bound to increase if you do not keep on fixing things But then a lot of it already also exists if you're doing it in the human way. When I started development, if I look at that code right now, I'm like, not possible that I could have written it. Not because it was that good, because it was that bad. Files with 21,000 lines of code in a single file, right? Just because every morning, the founder, who is a very good friend, used to come and ask me, Arpan, aaj kya naya banaya? And I was also excited enough. Sir, aaj ye banaya, right?
Yeah, बनाया.
So that is also technical debt. It's just that what is a good technical debt which can be fixed faster, and what is something because you have not written that code, you've not looked at that code. Uh, if AI can solve it, then it's fine. But if AI cannot, and you have to solve it, then किसी और का लिखा हुआ code को solve करना is a bigger skill.
Agree. Now, as long as I see if you are able to manage or if you know that this is the technical that you need to fix, you can still fix it, but don't just completely rely and assume that it is a perfect code. Even though it sounds like perfect, it will still say that, hey, it might make those mistakes, and that's where you need to understand and learn
Correct.
and then tweak it. Like you have already been working with the developer community, and
Mhm,
I'm assuming you do have certain new developer as well. Now we
mhm.
are in 2026, where I don't think so. Even the syntax question, I don't know if it even matter anymore.
Mhm.
So how do you look for, hey, these are the developer I would like to work maybe in next 2 to 3 years?
Okay, so this has been from maybe day one, from certain things that I've learned through my mentors or seniors whom
Mm-hmm.
I've looked up to, even from community perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Having that core understanding of questioning things in terms of tech,
Mm-hmm.
and asking all sorts of questions, but
Mm-hmm.
making the right inferences out of it. For example, I have a very good friend
Mm-hmm.
who used to beat the deadlines of the whole team working together and him working on a single thing. As in, whole
Mm-hmm.
team was not a very big team. It was maybe 4 people, 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone tried it. He comes up next morning. This is done. How? While we went deep into the documentation, tried to understand how this would be optimized and everything, that guy sat down and experimented.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of reading through a library, whether this will work or not, he
Mm-hmm.
spent less time in reading through it and the technicalities and understanding the depth of it.
Mm-hmm.
He set it up, चला के देखा,
Mm-hmm.
right? And whether it works or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he would try 10 libraries in the time we read two or three
Mm-hmm.
and failed at it and gave up probably,
Mm-hmm.
right? So mostly I'm looking for such kind of people who are in that zone of having left the hesitation of trying out new technologies.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I also learned from the teacher whom I learned web development.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably one of those people who launched Facebook pages. One of
Okay.
the super early employees of Facebook, and his team launched Facebook pages. So we used to say that his brain runs like a bullet. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever something is being taught, so one day one student of his was teaching game development using something.
Mm-hmm.
This guy built it sitting at the back of the class, the teacher,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
right? So experimenting. And same goes for AI. So because this developer needs to be experimenting with libraries, they also need to be very comfortable with using AI
Mm-hmm.
instead of denying कि ये तो कुछ नहीं होता, इससे तो मैं ही कर लूंगा,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to. It has become a necessity, and it's not a bubble. It's a reality wherein people are utilizing it. It has real applications
Mm-hmm.
instead of being a hype only thing. Yes, there's a lot of things which are hype also, but I guess that is how it evolves into something useful or dies out completely. But this one's there to stay, right? You and I have that AI plugged in probably even into this webinar or the recording thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely correct. And in today's world where the business itself or like the business model itself are changing very fast rather than relying on a person who is maybe a best, the Flutter expert, maybe best, Ruby on Rails expert. Can he solve the problem? And if
Correct.
he knows how to solve the problem, the
Mhm.
tech stack is just becomes either you write it in Python, you write it in Ruby on Rails, or any other
Yeah,
language.
and it's a good thing. I mean, building things should be faster and easier.
Agree. So, Commudle, I mean, overall, it has become more kind of the operating system for in the developer
Thank you.
engagement.
Thank you for saying that.
You do have all sort of activities there. And as we are moving more towards the data-oriented world, and specifically in 2026, because the data is the one which is even making these models smarter,
Uh-huh.
are you also doing something to help the companies to turn these community vibes, maybe like through hackathons or some chats or workshop, etc., those things happening,
Uh-huh.
where they can use them or actually fit those into their product market fit
Uh-huh.
without losing the trust of developers, of course.
Okay, sure, sure. I mean, community has become more and more important. And in the past, you can say 6 months, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
the landscape has completely shifted from events to hackathons, interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not saying that there are not enough events happening,
Mm-hmm.
but there are more than ever hackathons happening.
Agree.
Companies want people to solve certain problem statements or build using their SDKs because building that has become faster.
Yes.
Overnight, some revolutionary solution. Revolutionary might not be the right word, but very useful solution, I would say, that the company might not have thought of and can generate a use case or a case study for building that. So, yes, if I were to divide it into parts, one is
Mm-hmm.
we have built a completely paperless hackathon solution into the community suite or the community dashboard for
Mm-hmm.
all the existing communities,
Mm-hmm.
wherein right from setting up the hackathon, displaying all the rounds, problem statements, etc., managing registrations, which is the usual set of things,
Mm-hmm.
they have the marking part or the evaluation part also done online. They have the showcase part also done online, provided the search engine optimization, which no matter how much people say that it is obsolete or something, it is still highly relevant. I don't think the Google Analytics or the Search Console reports lie with the number of impressions and the number of visitors that they are getting me. So, showcase has become a very important thing.
Yep.
Last hackathon we had more than you can say 200 people submit their projects, and they are all visible publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what it does is gets these individual developers or teams who have built
Mm-hmm.
something also get to showcase through a single place on Commudle that they participated, they built something through community hackathon itself. And on the other hand, it gives a transparency to the company, which is probably sponsoring or doing the hackathon, or even the community, to have everything at one place while analyzing what are people actually building.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the companies which are running the whole community ecosystem using our workspace or the suite of things,
Mm-hmm.
they are able to engage and re-engage with the same set of developers
Mm-hmm.
instead of hopping up platform for every engagement. That I began with events on platform A, then I'm going to go for hackathons on B, then I'm going to publish blogs on C, then tutorials on D, E, and F, and that circle keeps on completing again and again. And a
Yeah.
year later, they realize everything is going haywire. So let me re-establish my identity. I
Mm-hmm.
will relaunch my community, and
Mm-hmm.
that is the problem that we have been solving, and to a lot of extent have solved it. And this journey will continue.
Yeah.
One of the most important things that this gives anyone who is running a developer community, for
Mm-hmm.
example, you've led community in the past, Kuldeep. You
Mm-hmm.
still keep on running community events and leading those initiatives, is to know what is the inclination of my to be potential customers or audience,
Yeah.
right? If, let us say, I am a particular cloud company
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see what are the technologies that my users are more inclined towards other than what I am sharing with them.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes really important to see where is the ecosystem going
Mm-hmm.
beyond just numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing these people becomes important. Right now, you just get people to fill Google Forms again and again, or Microsoft Forms again and again, or any other form. type form, etc., which
Mm-hmm.
is you collecting all that information, useful information, putting it into innumerous number of sheets,
Mm-hmm.
and then that goes down the trash or gets lost at some point of time. Here there is a tool which helps you collect all that information from your users, keeps you engaged with them, and then most importantly, um, keeps that relation part of developer relations active between you and them.
Yeah.
Sorry, ज़्यादा लंबा pitch हो गया.
No. And one thing also which I was thinking, like why there are like so many nowadays hackathon. Actually, companies are testing two things. One thing is even from the developer perspective, he, for example, can he learn something new? Can he build something
Correct,
new very
correct.
quickly? And also they are testing those models, right? Which are claiming, hey, I can get this thing done in 5 minutes. So are those
Yeah,
really able to
yeah.
help it out or not? No, and it is good that you have built it across all the requirement. For example, like hackathon till the community and how the companies can leverage it so that it is best way where a developer can show what are the skill set which he do have, what is something which he has built, and also on the another hand side, like the companies can also publish, say this is something where which I'm building, and as a developer, if I'm interesting, both these things can be married together and people
Yes,
have the jobs which interest them and the companies do have the developer which are particularly interested on those skill set.
correct, correct.
Cool. All right, so we will move a bit to the quicker question because it took more time in the earlier one. So
Sure,
I'll start with these three key questions.
sure.
What is one overrated engineering soft skill still you see today?
If I were to answer it, one from community perspective, developer community perspective,
Uh-huh.
um, the skill that people look at more is stage पे खड़े होके बोलना आना चाहिए, or maybe very good communication skills. I would say if you are to lead a developer community, first that developer part needs to be sorted. You need to be good at tech, personal
Mm-hmm.
inclination, and I think that is the rule that I live by. In general, from engineering perspective,
Uh-huh.
one of the things which is overrated is building things super fast.
Uh-huh.
So you know quantity over quality should not be there. Quality
Uh-huh.
over quantity is there. You build one project which is live versus you build 10 projects which are lying in your GitHub,
Uh-huh.
no one using them. That is something. So people still have a long list of projects on their resumes.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. No discouragement. But
Uh-huh.
then if someone has one .com, .in, .eu, whatever live, which people are using, that takes away all the thing. Even if 10 regular users, repeated users.
Yeah. No, you rightly said, and those are like very important, specifically in the initial years, because
Yes.
as your experience grows, there we might expect. But for example, in the initial year, if you have built one thing, but that one thing which you have built it very solid,
Mhm. Mhm.
and maybe you are not able to share it, your like your communication skill is might not be super impressive at that moment, but if your project is being used, that already tells a story of your potential.
Correct. Correct.
Cool. And how about these writing code? Nowadays, like more and more models are writing code. Do you think human written code will be a premium luxury or will it be a liability in next 3 to 5 years?
Anything which is redundant is to be automated.
Mm-hmm.
So let humans build logic in
Uh-huh.
terms of how the user is going to be interacting with me or take decisions, intelligent decisions, and let the assistant, AI assistant, do
Mm-hmm.
the work which can be offloaded to them. So I don't think human written code uh, or written code is anyways anytime a huge luxury that
Mm-hmm.
is there. If it is not functioning properly or if it is functioning properly, that is a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the functioning code is something that will be useful.
Yeah.
Rest of it, I think, doesn't matter who writes it as long as it functions. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are absolutely correct because how we started even writing code was something for machine to understand, right? And we used to write it like a machine, right? We used to think it in our head. Okay, this is how I'll make
Mhm.
A plus B equal to this, A minus B equal to this. These are the 6 fixed pattern which I'm going to use. That was more kind of the machines. And if machine can handle that, you have more time for the creative work, more logic work, how it is being used in the real time work.
Correct, correct. I think everyone becomes a CTO when they have intelligent code writing assistants. So, yeah, definitely.
Mhm. And what is one piece of advice which you gave in last episode and you would like to take it back and don't advise anymore?
Yeah, I think one of the things probably I would have said is build more, build more, build more.
Uh,
I would just put a pause on it and say, think and build more.
uh-huh.
Keep building. Do not stop.
Uh,
A lot of times those $1 worth of subscription products become hundreds of thousands of monthly or yearly recurring revenue
mhm.
if they are well thought of. So I would say don't just build more. Think what you want to build, get clarity, and then build more. Because it's not just about learning to code anymore. It's about understanding what needs to be built more than learning to write code. See,
Yeah.
there was a time when there was only binary, those cards in the machines, punch cards, right?
Yeah.
We've at least I've seen them,
Mhm.
not used them, and I'm sure you would have also referenced them when you teach or when you would have learned. So from that point, we do not need to understand those zero ones anymore very clearly,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Then came, very, very system, close to system languages, including C, C sharp, C++, and everything, with different concepts like pointers and everything. Then came something like Java,
Mm.
then Python and Ruby, now English. Okay. English, Hindi, whichever language. I mean, you can just say an AI will translate and convert it into code. So the question is now on your logical thinking ability, not just for the kind of code that is written, but more for what is being built.
Yeah. And because I think last time when we talked about the speed was something which was mattering, but nowadays, like you can, of course, go ahead and just build more. But if it is not adding any value, rather than think and build something which can solve a specific problem.
Correct, correct. Just to add one small point
Mm-hmm.
in a minute. So these days, I have been going through a lot of social media, probably on X, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
Reddit, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The thought process is changing towards uh, is building difficult or is getting users or marketing difficult,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now earlier it was like, हाँ मैंने 6 महीने लगा के रात भर जाग के I built this thing. That was the story. Now
Mm-hmm.
it is like I wrote this prompt and built this thing in 5 minutes. You see the contrast in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So building a brand or relating to people with your solution is more than important today. Because earlier, if you took 6 months, you were talking to the users, thinking around things. Today, you are like, I wake up and I build something. I put a prompt before going to sleep, and it builds something. So yeah,
No, you are absolutely correct. But to me, still getting your user and getting
yeah.
that used to is still the harder problem because, of course, the time has reduced. For example, it used to take like a 6 month, maybe you do it in overnight. But
Mhm, nice.
still, that the idea your user needs to like validate it. So maybe it is even more problematic now because now there are like so many ideas which are floating, and as a human, you don't know whether this is right or this is wrong.
सब कुछ exciting हो गया.
All right, Arpan. So it's always a pleasure talking with you, and I'm assuming it is like every time a new master class. Last time it was more around how you build Commudle, but how you are sustaining Commudle and how you are scaling it. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much, Kuldeep, and kudos to all the effort you are putting in. It takes a lot of effort, and this is human intelligence, not artificial, that you are putting in with your personal and professional time to build this series. And connecting so many founders, tech leads, marketeers, and people who are good at their domain uh, to hundreds of thousands of more people. So more power to you. And I mean, amazing to catch up both formally, informally, events, outside of events, always to interact with you. Lots of things that, you are being humble enough. I learn a lot from you as well.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Arpan. All right. So this was just a blueprint for the future. And as Arpan was saying, don't just build only, but think the more you build, the more knowledge you will have. So go ahead and build the thing.